the LIMPRIM. We're going to continue with LIMPRIM, and we're going to the challenges of nursing school. All
Nursing
the way
school?
from nursing school, getting into nursing, from nursing to getting a job, and the challenges that you guys face on the job. This is what we're going to be doing today. If you find this interesting, stay tuned with us. And probably you're going to gain one or two knowledge as we go ahead on this. Don't forget, this is Escape Attitude Radio Podcast. Becoming an RN starts with nursing school, which can be challenging and rigorous experience. Some of the common challenges that nursing student faces include heavy workload, stressful clinical rotation, high academic standard. So, can you give your experience starting a nursing school? Why do you want to be a nurse in the first place? What are the challenges getting into nursing school and getting out of nursing school?
So ever since I was 3 years old, actually, I've always wanted to be a nurse. And as I grew up, I don't think it ever occurred to me that I could do something else. It was always nursing. And I think something happened to me many years ago. I had an infected knee. I can't remember, maybe I knelt down, I was greeting somebody on something that was infected or something, and my knee blew up. Well, it had a lot of things, and they took me to the nurse. Actually, I don't think that happened to me 3 years old. That happened to me later on in life. But when I was younger, I was sick and had to go to the clinic, and there was a nurse that was going to give me an injection. Basically, that's how you get those antibiotics back then. And the nurse was very gentle with me, very nice, and I think I told my mom that day, probably 3-4 years old, Mommy, I want to be a nurse like that woman. And that was it.
And that click, like right away, that, okay, this is what I want to do.
That was it.
All right.
So going through primary school, I was very good in my science classes, I didn't even know that I was creative. Later on, I figured out I was creative. But anyway,
that you have other talents.
Like I had other creative talents. So growing up, I was good in my science classes. Yes, good in my science classes. Primary school, high school, and then when we came to United States, my mom, my parents asked me that question. Here, yes, there's opportunities. Once you say this is what I want to do, you are able to.
You just have to follow through.
You just have to follow through, exactly. So when I came here, high school, 11th grade, I was already in 11th grade in primary. No, SS1. I was starting SS2 in Nigeria then, which is equivalent to 11th grade here. So they said, okay, Lara, what do you want to do when you grow up? I was like, I want to be a nurse. And our high school then in New York was like, we have a nursing program. It's like, nursing program? So they have a nursing program. My mom already knew about nursing. My dad already knew about nursing. And if you are Nigerian in America, nursing is money, right? So I'm sure in my parents' head, they are like, hallelujah, hallelujah. What? We don't even have to convince this girl to do nursing. So anyway, I said I wanted to be a nurse. Unfortunately, they were like, if you're going to start the nursing program, I have to start 10th grade because already the nursing program started from 9th grade. So they were like, I have to...
So they have to push you back.
Push me back.
So
they pushed me back 1 grade to do the test to get into nursing, actually. So that's how I got into nursing program. And I graduated with a licensed practical nurse. It wasn't easy.
That's the LPN?
The LPN. It wasn't easy. A lot of people, failed. And unfortunately, the people that failed were put into the CNA program instead. And then, when they get out of college, when they get out of high school, they can now pursue nursing if really that's what
Before
they
you
wanted.
continue, let me just ask you this question, all right?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned something that in high school, they have a nursing program for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Before you get out of high school, they prepare you to get your LPN. Not all school, but some school that when you are graduating high school, you also get license, LPN license getting out of high school, which can earn you good money.
Yes.
And that money can help you in pursuing your career in college.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. They prepare you before high school so that you don't get, you're not just useless.
Yes.
All right.
But I remember in Nigeria then it was two paths. You can do the science route. I guess if you want to
We
be a
have
doctor,
science, we
you
have
want to
commercial,
be
and we have art.
an art. Okay, I think art was another one, and then there was the business. I remember business. There was a
That's
business
commercial.
route.
That's what they call commercial. We have
Okay.
science class, commercial
remember
class,
that. Yeah.
and the art class.
And
We
arts.
always have that three.
Yeah.
So for
So there were
me,
people that were doing business.
yeah, but do you know everybody always want to be in the science class because they believe you're in science class.
Doctor.
You are the smartest. You are
Yeah,
among the smartest
kind of.
people.
Yeah.
And most people did it blindly, not trying to reflect on what they can be, what they can do.
their
And this is
purpose.
one of the propaganda spread in Nigeria. Then that you have to, and
You have to be a
it's
doctor,
more or less like,
lawyer,
even though now with technology,
scientist.
you can be anything, you can earn money in any form, in any way. But then it's either you are doctor, engineer, or so before you can
Exactly.
make good money.
And science was where
are
everybody
in
was going.
Science class.
Yeah.
But now, if I knew then, art would have been what I would pursue.
Art, I know. But I didn't even know I had that art in me.
But one thing with me then is that I'm just too handy. I know a lot of things growing up. I can do a lot of. I don't know how I get to know how to repair cars while I was young. I can take things out of cars and replace
Put them
it.
back.
I can bring. Then we were having all these little radios. I pieces them into pieces. So I see myself that okay, engineering would be the best thing for me to do because already I have the talent.
Exactly.
When things get messed up, I fix them. I just fix them. I just know how to fix them. So I think, oh, let me go for. Then I was thinking maybe mechanical engineering, But the problem is when I get here, I realize that we have people that help you to shape your. But I don't have that growing up in Nigeria that can say, okay, this is what I see in you. This is what I think you should pursue,
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit confusing to a lot of people because they can't pinpoint where I'm good. When it comes to art, I represent my school. When it comes to engineering, people know this guy is good in this, he can fix this, he can fix that. So you can't really tell, okay, is he?
Which one?
Yeah.
Art or
And I
science?
was, me myself then, I was a little bit confused. I don't know which direction should I go. I have nobody to help mold me
Guide.
and guide me to what I should do. So
That's important.
when it comes to clinical rotation in nursing, how does that go with you?
So right from high school, when I entered the nursing program, right from high school, they so on certain days we'll go to school. On certain days we'll go to different hospitals. We went to a big hospital. We went to nursing homes, and we went to some assisted living. To see different types of care that was rendered. And me as a young person, no medical background from Nigeria. I mean, I'm coming from zero. Compared to other people here who knew all, hospital assisted. What's assisted living in Nigeria? What is nursing home? We don't have any of those ideas. So I struggled very much with medical terminologies. I struggled. I passed. That was the main thing. So I passed. But in high school, it wasn't as difficult as when I went into college. With the rotations
Now
and everything.
in college,
I wasn't working,
it's
so
more of like
it wasn't bad.
In high school, it's cool because it's like you are getting introduced to it.
Yeah.
But in college now, you now face the core thing you need to face.
Yeah.
So if you have to look at this, the high academic standard that is needed for nursing, how do you say that? How do you take most of the students were able to cope with the scores?
With the scores, what do you mean?
Like their grade? Because there's a standard for nursing.
Oh my God.
Then.
Yeah, it's definitely a high standard. I believe you have to pass 75 to 80 points. I believe 75 was the pass mark. And it was tough because when you're in college, you are...
No, rather that you have to maintain that good grade.
You have to maintain your grade. Right. You have to maintain your grade. You can't even get... I don't... Can you get C's?
Because I realized if you fail, they give you 1 year to come back again.
Yeah. So when I was in college, I think the only class that I didn't really do well was chemistry. I think chemistry I got C, but still passed. But the challenge with when you are in college is at that time I was actually working. I was working part-time as a LPN that I got from my high school days, right? I was working with that license in a nursing home and also getting what do you call it? Knowledge experience.
Knowledge experience.
I was getting experience as well. So I wasn't 100% into school.
Yeah.
But the struggle was still there because now I'm working part-time. Even though it was part-time, I was working part-time and still going to school and still going to clinicals.
That's not, which means you are not doing it 100%.
Yeah, I wasn't in it like 100% like that.
So that's a big challenge to
it was
be
a
working,
big challenge. Exactly.
studying for school, and that's a big challenge. Though.
It's a big challenge. Yeah.
Maintaining that, this will make me move to the next one.
Yes.
So after, finish with nursing school, the next thing is going to be looking for a job, right? What are the challenges finding a job as a nurse? Do you think you face any challenges, probably by them pronouncing your name and realize it's Africa and they push you aside? Or do you think it's just free and fair for everybody?
No, I think my name might have been a challenge.
Because someone has actually told me if a job interviewer call them and they can't pronounce your name, they just push your paper to the side. If your
I
name
think
is
it's
too hard
part
to
of
be
it,
pronounced.
yeah. Because actually, someone actually made a research. The person, sent in their resume as themselves and sent the same resume with with an English name, with an American name, and they called that same person. And she was like, this is actually my name, and they couldn't believe it. But I believe my name was part of it. But like you said, it's a competitive market. So if you know someone that knows someone already in the field, exactly, they can get your resume, try to put in a good word for you. That was how I got a hospital job. And now as a nurse practitioner, now it's still a little bit difficult. But I feel if you know someone that knows someone, or if you get in touch with physicians that you work with, and put in a good word for yourself, introduce yourself. And that's one thing I don't know how to do. Not like I don't know how to do. I'm very shy on the reserve side. You have to be able to market yourself. Like talk to your managers, talk to doctors, talk to a lot of people that can hopefully put in a good word for you. I think is the name of the game.
So that's that, right? That's the challenges. I believe most people, even if it's not a nursing job, if the market is competitive, it's going to be challenged. You have to stand out. Yeah. Most especially during interview, you must be able to stand out if you want to be called back.
Another one is experience. Yeah.
Yes, experience play a big role. If you have to, limited job opportunity is one of the problems. Yeah. Lack of experience may be another challenges.
Yeah.
Then competitive hiring process is another challenges. Okay. So if we have to look at the challenges that nurses face while on the job, right? After you secure the job, the ongoing challenges in their daily work. Some of the common challenges that nurses faces on the job, which include heavy workload. That's number one. I know that for sure, that you guys, sometimes they give you more than you can bite. And the second one is the long hours that you guys work. And the third is the complex patient case. The cases dealing with complex patients, dealing with their families, and all those things. What are your experience while on the job that you think should be addressed?
What's the first one?
The first one is the heavy workload.
Heavy workload. Okay, so it depends on where you are. There are places in the United States that you go that they have
less workload.
They have less workload.
But if you are living in the city, it may be different.
It might be different. I mean, comparing New York, working in Brooklyn, New York.
In New York.
Yeah, it was heavy. But then people started complaining and talking about it, and then
the
it
more-
reduced a little bit.
And that can lead to a lot of because I realize when they give you too much to do,
Yeah.
that's where you get mistakes coming in.
Mistakes, I mean, yeah, definitely. So I remember when I first started in 2020 working in a hospital, it was 6 to 8 to 1 nurse, 6 to
Voila.
8 nurse patients
That you have to take
to
care
1
of.
nurse that you have to take care of. And then moving on closer to 2015, things started changing. I believe what do you call them? The union. We started talking about, especially patients falling, negative outcomes. So people started complaining that this is not a safe workload. Eventually, they brought it down to 1 to 5. So on days maybe when someone calls out, you might have 6
Meaning
patients.
that you may not be able to give
Your best care.
what do they call it? Comprehensive.
Exactly.
Because you have a lot of people to attend to.
It was just a lot.
So I think that was the time I witnessed one that when the nurse, she was attending to a particular patient, trying to have a good time with that patient, but another one is in need of help, another one
course.
is in. So
Yeah.
he ended up spend less quality time with them, and
Yes.
that results in poor treatment.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you of a day where, let's say I had 1 to 8
I want to put it
patients.
like poor service. Don't let me say treatment. Poor service.
Sorry. Yeah, I can tell you in one shift, there'll be one person be like, Lara, oh my goodness, you are the best nurse ever. You took care of me so good. I am so happy. And then you have that one
Complaining.
other patient be like, you are the worst ever. Don't come back. I want another nurse, in the same shift on the same night. So, it depends. It depends on what's going on, and you can do your all for one person, but other person might not be able to get that quality of care because there's just so many things that's going on. And, depending on what's going on, that can happen in one day. Compared to Texas now where, depending on the unit that I'm on now, I have 3 to 1. The 3 to 1 doesn't mean that, it's less work. There are sicker patients, even though there's only 3. So it depends. You kind of have to weigh them, but I'm definitely not complaining. I just thank God that I have a job.
So I think that's sorted out.
Yeah.
But what do you think can be done to improve that? What can be done is to hire more nurses.
What can be done?
Yeah, it's just to hire more nurses.
We can't just say hire more nurse, because what happens is if you hire more nurses and they say, okay, fine, they put it to 2 to 1. Let's say on a good day, you have 2 patients to 1.
Yeah, you're right. But I think there's something they can do
They want
to
you to be busy.
to improve that, that experience. Let's go to.
I think, yeah. Even if it's not hiring more nurses, they may be hiring more PCTs, they call them here.
Yeah, the nurse
exactly,
technician.
more assistants. I think that might help.
But why? Because I remember sometimes one nurse to one technician. That's what I normally understand. But now it's like nurses are doing all the lifting that nurse techs supposed to be doing.
Sometimes it happens. I mean, on a 28-bedded unit, if you have only 2 nurse techs, that's a lot. 1 nurse tech to 14 patients.
But I believe it's always 1 to 1 or 2 to 1 nurse tech.
That's probably critical care unit.
Because I've been to an hospital that 2 or 3 nurses will have 1 nurse tech, or I've seen 1 nurse tech, 1 nurse. It's like 1 to 1 like that.
I don't think I've seen 1 to 1. Maybe 2 to 1. Maybe 1 PCT or CNA to 2 patients.
They
Critical
normally
care.
have the little board that they write their name,
Yeah.
all the caregivers' name,
Yeah.
and I see 1 nurse tech.
So maybe that's a critical care. Maybe
It's
it depends.
just regular, what do they call it, recovery.
You
Just
can't
like
say
a
regular recovery. Oh. There are people that are
Because
just
they
coming out
normally
of
need, most of these
fresh
patients will
surgery.
need help to go to the bathroom or to, if they,
Yeah.
Some of them need help to change. If they're heavy or things like that, they need nurse tech.
Honestly, I haven't seen 1 to 1, 1 nurse to 1 tech to 1 patient.
Not like to 1 patient. The nurse may have 6, 7, 8 patients,
okay.
but they will have nurse tech working with them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm not like 1 nurse tech to 1. No.
But what I'm saying,
like on the floor.
yeah,
Let's say, as a nurse, you are assigned 6 patients or 7 or 8.
Yeah.
They are assigned with you also 1 nurse tech that
Yeah.
will work with you.
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I have 1 nurse tech, but there's 14 patients that
That you guys
one
have-
nurse tech
you have to
is
work
sharing with like 4 nurses, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
That
14 patients to one,
nurse tech.
Nurse
and that
tech.
nurse tech is working with 4 nurses,
like,
right?
yeah, 3 to 4 nurses. That's a lot.
Wow, that's
still.
a lot for him, for
That's
that,
what I'm
that nurse
saying.
tech.
14 patients is what we're looking at.
But even in nursing home, sometimes you see all these CNA assigning up to 8.
40.
8. I think I have 8, sometimes 12.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Here it's 14.
That's too bad.
14 for one nurse tech. 14.
That's crazy.
And the acuity, they have a lot of people that, let's say, okay, out of 14 patients, there's 7 that can't even get out of bed.
Wow.
You have to bathe them. They one make poo-poo, you have to clean up. So it's a lot.
So let's talk about the hours. What varieties of hours do you guys work?
I can't even complain about the hours because, yes, nurses, I believe, if it's not statewide, I believe in hospitals it's 12 hours now.
12 hours straight.
Yeah.
We have people that work 7 or 9 hours.
I don't think so.
That are doing day shift.
Most likely, no.
I think some day shift do 9 hours.
So most likely you are in the leadership, maybe managers or in the clinics out of the hospital. Then you can do those 8 hours. It depends on the department, I would say. Let's say it's a surgical department. I don't know, that they do only 9 to 5, then you might be doing 9 to 5.
But mostly it's 12 hours straight
Mostly
now.
it's 12 hours.
Either you are doing day shift or night shift.
Night shift, right. Mostly it's
Any
12 hours.
differential in the shift, pay rate?
In New York, I think there's only one differential. I can't remember.
Like those who work
I
weekend,
think there's only
weekend and night
I think
shift?
there's only one differential if you work in New York. But here they have evening differential, they have night differential, they have weekend like 3 different differentials.
It's because we have too much people in New York and they don't care. They just want to use you until you become a
I don't think they have, like, this one in Texas is broken down like evening differential, night, weekend differential. New York, I'm not sure if it's broken down like that. I think it's
I know
one
they have
differential. You
night
work
differential.
nights, you get
They only
something.
have night differential.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the so those are the hours you guys work.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the complexity, the complex patient cases and dealing with patient's family. What are your experience?
This is part of the reason why I don't work pediatrics. It's one thing to take care of someone that's sick. It's one thing to take care of the families as well. So that's one thing why I don't do pediatrics, because, before you know it, the parents can even add to the problem.
Really?
The family members can add to the problem of the problem that you're trying to take care of. But as adults, I take care of adults, so I mean it's not bad. It's not bad. You just all right, this is what happened today. Let's say a patient fell now. Let's say a patient fell. Let's say an elderly patient that have children that are taking care of that person. You can call them. When your mom was trying to use the restroom, she had an episode where her blood pressure was low, or maybe, your mom was on the toilet, she was doing number 2, and when she did, her blood pressure dropped. You just talk to the family, and the family, they understand. Or, your mom, your dad, God forbid, had a heart attack, and then you tell them, this is what we did, this is what we did. Are you able to visit? Or, your mom, your dad, God forbid, is not doing well at this time. Everything we're doing is not, the doctors would have told them anyway, this is the best time to come and say come and be with your family members because they're not doing well, and, they're going towards, so many different cases, but mostly because we work nights, we don't get to deal with a lot of family members. I work nights, so it's not bad as working daytime.
They have to be the people that are
much.
doing day shift deal with a lot of family members.
A lot of discharges. They send people home, so they see a lot of more family members. Yeah.
What about abusive home?
I mean, occasionally we do
like
have
they abuse, or is it just because they're agitating? Most those that are being restrained.
Occasionally, we do have patients that need to be restrained. We have racist patients. We have abusive patients. It depends.
Like those who like hit people.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes,
Is
if
that
it's
like part of
psychological,
the job?
it's part of the job.
How are you supposed to respond to such situation
That a patient wants to hit you,
that actually hits you?
that hits you. I think there was one time when I was pregnant and I think the patient was confused. Once the patient is confused, just know that it's not the patient anymore. So there was one patient that was fighting everybody, and I was trying to, your safety first. I was guarding my tummy, and then I was like, all right, this person is not.
So
and you have to tie them
is there
down.
anything in place that protects you guys as against such things?
Security. You call security if they have
Is
to be
there any
tied
compensation
down.
if you actually get injured by
Workers'
parents?
compensation.
If you have a
Workers-
patient that beats or
Workers' compensation, yeah. If a patient scratches you, you have to file a report. Yeah.
but you're not supposed to do anything back.
If you do anything bad, then you can be liable. Yeah,
So let's say it's all those hazards come with the job.
definitely.
So
It's not all the time.
that kind
Once
of
in a
conclude
while.
on my question for you. Like I said, but before we go, I would like to get your opinion in general about everything we have discussed right now.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think you want to see change when it comes to hospital settings and staff relating to staff relationship?
I think number one, you go to work, and sometimes there are things that are not working. So sometimes there are things that are not working. Most of the times, if something's not working, we'll call whoever needs to fix it. But most of the time, it's just having the extra hand. And the thing is, every year they're always adding things. All right, we have to do this in addition to all the things that we've been doing. All right, we have to do this in addition to everything that we've been doing. Most of the time, they are not taking away things. They're always adding, because human needs is always increasing. Exactly. So they're always adding things, and sometimes it's a lot. But because there's a lot of women, we are very adaptable. We adapt to the situation, and we just keep it moving. We do the best we can with what we have, basically.
So, in relation to that, that having a work, more or less, I actually want to ask that. How do you guys deal with, work environment? And I want to link that to workers' relationship. There's going to be some people that are kind of lazy in doing their job. How do you guys deal with that? People
How do you
leaving
deal
their
with
job
lazy?
for another nurses to do.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of young staff coming in, and we've already talked about technology.
That they manage to dodge their job, not trying to do what they're supposed to do.
We've talked about technology and how it affects everybody. A lot of young people are coming into use very young. I started nursing when I was young, but I was ready to work. I do my work. But there are times when you will see these young people, they're very fast on the computer. Whatever needs to be done, everything on the computer is 100%. But when you go into the room and you look at the patient, you're like, what is going on? But computer documentation is, unfortunately, this is what the company wants. The company wants documentation on the computer. But when you come into some of the rooms, you're like, what is going on? So sometimes us night shifts, I don't know. Sometimes we come in, we don't complain, but usually the people that don't do the most complain the most. Unfortunately, anywhere you go, you see that it's true. So we come in, we take care of a lot of these things, make sure the patient looks even not 100%, at least 90%.
How do you guys resolve staff that don't?
Unless it's blatant neglect,
there's no need to report anything.
It depends on what's going on.
Like someone that intentionally leaves a job for the next staff to do, incoming staff to come, like, this is what you're supposed to get done before I get this from you, and now I'm coming to get the shift from you. and you let...
It's hard to
you
say
know,
this is
or-
what you're supposed to do. It's a 24-hour shift job. Unfortunately, you are not going to be able to finish some things, right? But it's, I mean...
But do
if-
we have people that do complain?
Oh, yeah, I mean, you can report. People report. You report, and if they've given you a warning...
Yeah.
There are so many different ways of going about it. Yeah, but if they've given you a warning the first time, second time, third time, you might get terminated.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, well, let me read my conclusion that in becoming a registered nurse
It's a lot of sacrifice. It's
and working in the field can be a challenging and rewarding experience. From nursing school to graduation, finding a job and working on the job. Registered nurses face a variety of challenges. However, with dedication, hard work, and ongoing learning, registered nurses can overcome these challenges and make a positive impact on lives of their patients and community. So, like you said that I really don't see what you want, like where you want to see like improvement in this field. Like, okay, this is what I think they should implement. This is what I think they should implement for staff safety and for, patient safety.
they have so many different
and a lot
things
of
for
things
staff
like that.
safety. Yeah,
And
they
I
have that.
asked you that, what do you want to see to be improved? Things like that. That will be it on this one, guys. So we come to the end of today's podcast. Thank you for having the time, taking the time to answer all these questions. I believe if you're trying to be a registered nurse, you have gained one or two things from this discussion. And I hope, and my prayer to you is that you're successful in your journey to be a registered nurse. And that will be it on this one. Thank you once again for your time. Stay tuned on our next episode. If you're yet to subscribe, like I say, please do go subscribe to our channel, like the video, and do share the video. Don't forget, this is Escape Attitude Radio Podcast. Stay tuned, guys. Bye-bye on this one. Bye-bye, guys.